Hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and work on teaching our dogs mat work. So this is a follow-up skill to working on stationing. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch that one first. Make sure your dog is comfortable getting on surfaces. Make sure your dog understands their release word and you have a release word before we wanna go ahead and start adding difficulty. So the difference between mat work versus stationing. Stationing, I want my dog to get up on something. I don't care about their position. I don't really care about what movements they're doing. With mat work, I want my dog to start looking more and more relaxed. And I first work on this on a raised platform to make the difference between the ground and the thing they're supposed to be on a lot more clear. And then I transfer it into things like dog beds or towels on the ground or things like that. So in the beginning, until I've taught my dog this skill, which she knows this skill already, but I'm going to pretend that she doesn't, I don't say any cues, I don't say any commands. I want to show my dog what I want them to do, and then once they're offering the correct behavior all by themselves without me helping them with words or with lures, then I go ahead and start adding that verbal cue. So I'm going to take this treat. I want my position up here for her to be like that, whole body laying down. I'm going to give her a few treats there, and then I'm going to say break and toss a treat off. Wait for her to get back on, and then lure her into a down again. Some dogs are going to be a little bit more slow to lay down than others. Break. That's okay. You can go ahead and just lure them into that down position. If they don't want to lay down on the platform, you can work on it on the ground first, next to the platform, and then try it up on the platform. Break. Or you can practice saying down a couple times and then fade off of how much you need to say it. Wow, the cars are really loud today. You can say down for 1 or 2 repetitions and then fade off of how much you need to say it. But ideally, we don't want to have to be saying that cue because I want it to be looped into the behavior of the final cue, which is going to be, for me, I call this behavior go place, means go find whatever thing I'm pointing to that looks kind of like a dog bed or platform, jump on it, lay on it, and stay there until released. So with this, once we have dogs who break, are coming up onto the platform, and you'll see as soon as she jumps up on here, she gets into that correct position. That's when we can start calling it what we want to call it. So I'll give her a few treats up there. Break. So as soon as she eats that treat, I'll say per cue, go place. Good job. If she needed help there, I would go ahead and just lure her to help her out. That's okay. In the beginning, I want her to be really successful. I mean, the whole time I want her to be really successful. So if I need to help her, I certainly will. Break. Go place. Good. Very nice. I'm rewarding nice and low so that she knows that she's going to get those treats only for staying in that nice low down position. If I was rewarding by bringing a treat above her head, it would make it so that she would be more likely to pop her body up back into a sit. So I'm tucking that treat in between my thumb and my first 2 fingers, bringing it down to her and letting her eat it out of my hand. So once your dog understands the cue, you've done that a few times, break, and go place. Test it and make sure that your dog knows that that cue means jump onto whatever your thing is, lay down, and wait for treats to get delivered. That's when we can start adding a little bit of challenge. So first challenge I like to add is movement. To begin with, I'm just going to step in place, see how she reacts. If she doesn't move, she gets a treat. Good. So she moved a little, but not out of position. So that is fine with me. Very nice. Very nice. Good. Now I'm going to practice taking a little step away and then back. And she thinks there's a crumb on the ground. Hey, you. Hi, we're not getting crumbs. So I'm going to take a step away and then back towards her. Very nice. That was awesome. Grab a couple more treats here. Good. And then release her. Break. We still want to release pretty often. Go place. Because I want her to keep in mind that she should be staying there until released. So by releasing and rewarding that release fairly often, we make it really clear, yes, there is a time when you are supposed to get up. It's when I say that magic word and not when I'm doing funny things. So now that I've practiced stepping away and towards, I'm going to practice stepping side to side. Good. Very good. Oh, that was a little too tough. So I'm going to lure her back into that down, not reward for that. Good. Try it again, see if she can be successful, and she was. So that one was just a little mistake. Good. And then I'm going to go ahead and release her. Break. So, go place. So you can practice that with moving away and back, stepping side to side, gradually increasing, another step away, another step to the side, until you can do things like, can I walk in a full circle around my dog and have them remain in place? What about, can I run away and back towards my dog? And if they remain in place, they get rewarded for that. So, first challenge is distance. Second challenge is distraction. I like using food as my first distraction for mat work because it's something that we can control really easily. So I am going to start with some treats in my hand. She knows this game already very well, and you can see there's an open bag of food in front of her. So food's not a huge distraction to her because we've done this game a lot, but she is a huge foodie. So I have treats here. I'm not gonna say leave it. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna correct her or anything for making bad choices. I'm just gonna reward good choices. So I'm gonna start out with a handful of treats right in front of her nose. Yes. The moment she makes the intentional choice to not try and steal it, yes. She gets a yes and a treat, especially if she offers eye contact. Yes. Because I love that. Now I'm gonna open that hand. Yes. 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 Now that food is moving, which you can see tripped her up a little bit at first. Yes. Very nice. And I'm really just looking for her to not try and steal the food, but this shows what you can start to work up to once your dog is doing well. If she were trying to steal the food like that, I would just close my hand, wait for her little nose to move away, and then open it again. Yes. And if she could be successful, then I would go ahead and reward her. So from there, we want to work up to, can I have food in my hand, and can it get lower and lower and lower? Yes. Very nice. Yes. And then can I put that food on the ground? So I'm taking these treats, I'm putting them on the grass, I'm covering them with my hand. Yes. Yes. Very nice. And then practice things like, can you move your hand away? Yes. I'm still looking for eye contact as my rewardable criteria. If you have practiced a lot of offered eye contact, you can do the same. If you haven't, go back and work on that. And then for now with this, just go ahead and reinforce your dog for not trying to steal the food. So anything that shows they're making the intentional choice to not steal. Yes. Once you get to this stage where you can have a piece of food on the ground and your dog is waiting patiently and offering some sort of good behavior, it also opens you up to, not only can you reinforce by picking food up and giving it to them, you can also use their release word to tell them that they can have that food. So right here I can tell her, break. You can have it. Break. Break. And she needed a couple reminders there because she was more in the mode of leaving it alone. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that again and make it a little bit easier for her by gesturing to it. To just really show her, yep, you're getting to eat that right now. I will want to proof out that hand motion later so that I don't need to use it forever. Break. Good. So right there you can see I didn't need to use the hand motion that time. So dogs can learn pretty quickly, even over a series of 2 to 3 repetitions like that. You can make a pretty good amount of progress as long as your criteria is nice and clear and you're consistent with your rewards. So that covered distance and distractions. The last thing that I like to work on is duration, which is what she's kind of starting to work on her own. I like to work on this when I'm sitting and doing something else a lot of the time where I'm stationary, so things like watching TV, working on computer work, cooking or eating food. So for this, I like to choose a marker that means wait in place, and I will bring the food to you. My marker that I use for this is good, and then I bring food to her. Nice thing about this is as you're just sitting there watching TV, so now I have no food in my hands, you can be watching TV or you can be doing computer work, and if you catch your dog and notice them staying really nicely on their place, you can tell them good, and then reach for a treat and grab it for them so that they don't only listen when they see food in your hand. With all of this stuff as well, you want to work on fading off of food needing to be in your hand by using clear marker signals, which are covered in another video. So that covers the 3 Ds of how I like to increase the difficulty of mat work, as well as how to start training mat work. Again, those 3 Ds are distance, distraction, and duration. Basically, how far away can you go while your dog is on the mat? What else can be happening while your dog is on the mat? And how long can your dog stay on the mat? Remember to keep it really clear that the release word is the only ticket off of the mat. So make sure that if you have asked your dog to get on the mat, you always remember to release them afterwards, or else they will learn that they should be self-releasing, which is the opposite of what we want. That's how you kill a good stay. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and that is mat work, and happy training.